Who's left? Who did we forget?
Did we forget somebody?
We should probably talk about this guy.
Let me look at this. Oh, it's Jokic. Guys,
I
it's
thought
Nikola
God,
Jokic.
let's fit this one in at the end.
I thought it was maybe Marcus Howard.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Nikola Jokic season.
Let's go. Let's go.
What's better than an MVP? A two-time MVP. Back-to-back MVP. Now, maybe going for his third. We might talk about that a little bit later. We'll maybe see an appearance from an honorable judge, or really more of a dishonorable judge. Disbarred
That
judge.
judge looks like he's getting a divorce.
He's in divorce court for himself. But first, let's look at last year's stats for Joker. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
There it is. Wow.
Yeah,
Look
they
at
were
these
good.
stats.
Check it
27
out.
points per game.
I like it.
58% from the field, 33.7 from three. 13.8 rebounds is monster number, 7.9 assists. Man, these numbers are all insane.
Jeez.
1.5 steals and 0.9 blocks. Eric, I'll let you start us off now on Jokic.
Dude, you know what's hilarious is that when Dwayne was he made the Jokic card first, and then he made everybody else's card after. And so he saw these numbers and then saw everyone else's numbers. It was like, oh, like what?
Oh, wow.
Is everyone else terrible? I'm like, no, you don't understand. 27 points a game. The one thing that really did take a step back, unfortunately, last year for Nikola Jokic was his three-point shooting. Like, he really was unreliable. At least even if it was just anecdotally.
It was his career average. He just had a good year the one prior
I
to
think
that.
that's maybe it. We were
I'm
kind
with
of
Eric, though.
we
It
were
felt
hoping.
like a step back.
Yeah, we were just we wanted.
We thought it was the year of the
Yeah, I mean
three-point shot.
when you're evaluating the two-time MVP, that obviously you're being a little bit more critical of things that are already sort of superhuman for others. So I would just like for that. I mean, there's nothing better when Jokic steps out. First couple possessions, just knocks down a three, and it signals to the opposing center that, like, bro, you're going to be in the torture chamber all night. Like, you thought you were going to be, worried about him on the block, but like now you got to run out and worry about him knocking down a three. Now you got to worry about him getting you up in the air and then somehow getting by you in the slowest possible way that you can't defend against. Yeah, that's like the one thing I'd love to see a little bit of improvement from.
Harrison, I have a tough one for you. 27 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, and 62% effective field goal percentage. Which one of those, in your opinion, is most likely to stay the same or go up? All of those are like extreme outliers for him.
I think the efficiency, the field goal percentage could go up.
Wow.
I think Jokic could have. This is
he's so
absolutely just ridiculous to say, but the most efficient
Well,
season
you know
of his
that
career.
currently in the preseason he's shooting 0%.
Yeah. I think he could average 27 points per game again.
No question.
The rebounding.
Really, no question.
Well, he
I
could.
think he could put up a very similar stat line to what he did last year. I really do. But when just looking at his stat line, the 27 points per game, it always jumps out at me because years and years ago, I thought there was no way this would be a guy who would be flirting with like 30 points per game. That's absolutely crazy that he's been putting up these scoring numbers for the last 2 years. And yeah, we've been in it, we've watched it, we've analyzed it, but just to take a step back and think about where he was when he was averaging like 20 a game. We didn't think he could average 27 a game. It's just
Vogt,
crazy.
Part of why he averaged 27 and the previous year 26, part of that was he had nobody else around him or not as many guys. This year he's flush with other scorers. Like, do you see him blending this aggressive high-volume scorer with the pass-first guy we saw? Do you see that blending without a loss in points?
It is possible. Here's how I think it could play out. And we've talked about this before. What if the real way this manifests, the restoration of the core, is simply that you can't help?
Yeah.
And it's Jokic one-on-one. And
It's sort of like how you are with this core.
We go back to this narrative, you got to make him beat you with his offense. We got to make him score every play.
yeah, Eric, am I not supposed to answer these questions? I don't know. Sorry for talking, but yeah, I think I mean, what if the way it manifests is that you can't help, and the biggest lesson Jokic took from last year is they can't guard me one-on-one. This is also a good play. This is a good shot.
I do. That's the one thing we haven't seen from the preseason is what does it look like when Jokic is trying to get his? Not in a selfish way, but just when he's forcing the envelope.
Yeah.
And, like, I understand. Honestly, the first game, he didn't shoot a lot. Maybe it was the wrist. He looked a little grouchy. The second game, I thought he had pep in his step. He looked great. He just didn't shoot because the offense was humming. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
So I would like to see one game where he was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to establish the tone. I'm going to shoot the first 3 possessions so the team start doubling me, and then I'm just going to start going. I'd like to see it just because I don't know what the blend looks like yet.
You know what? The way that I imagine this playing out for him is that every game starts out the way that we saw, where he starts off getting everybody involved. He doesn't take a lot of shots, and then because we haven't seen him play down a full game yet.
Yeah.
And I imagine when you start to go down the stretch, it's the same way you treat the playoffs. Like it gets less and less and less complicated. At the end of the game, it's Jokic and Murray as it's always been, and so that's when Jokic really starts to eat when the other team is a little bit worn down. But in the first half, it's like KCP is shooting, MPJ is shooting, all these guys are getting involved, and he's just and then he's just wearing you down. Then the fourth quarter, it's like it's Joker time, baby.
Let's get into a big question here. A big question, which is, will Nikola Jokic be fresh enough for the playoffs?
Ooh.
This concern is interesting because he had a long offseason, a very long offseason.
Well, he also played basketball.
Yeah, I don't know if he had an
competitively
off-season,
at a
right.
high level.
But I'm saying from the NBA, he had a long one,
of
and then
course.
he played, obviously, for the national teams. So that is where the concern is coming in. When do you ask this question? So I'll let you answer it.
I think he's set up this year to be fresher than he's ever been for the playoffs because I think the Nuggets are so deep this year. They've got a capable bench, I think. They've got, I think, the best starting 5 in the league, the best starting 5 of the Jokic era. I mean, Jamal Murray, they've got other guys who can carry the scoring load on any given night. He should be fresh. Like, Nikola Jokic, if everything goes according to plan, the Nuggets should make sure he's fresh for the playoffs. Like, that should be a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Eric, what I love about this is Wind asks the question, sounds ominous, and then he answers it with, don't worry. Will Jokic be too tired for the playoffs?
Should be. All I'm saying
he'll be fine.
He should be.
That's a journalistic trick where you go,
Yeah.
do I think too much of myself? No, I don't.
There you go. Are you worried at all, though, that he might wear down?
Not really, just because of what Win just said. I just think that there are, and frankly, we've learned scientifically he's going to be coming down off of his cross. He's not going to be carrying the team in the same way. Like we learned that's the savior is no longer has to be the savior. He can just be just plain old Jesus, and
Just another guy on the street.
I mean,
Humble carpenter.
yeah, right. He's just, but like truly, he does not have to do everything. He sort of in true Jokic form, as we've learned about him ever since he's been here. Like everything he's done and has been foisted upon him is always begrudging. Like he's like, fine, I'll be the leading scorer. Fine, I'll play basketball. Fine, I'll be the greatest player that's ever played. That's
Fine, I'll save the world.
Yeah, but now it's like
Yeah,
no one's
what's
asking
next?
him to do it. He's like, oh really? Sick. Like he can just sort of take a little step back. And I agree with Win. I hope that they rest him. I hope that they.
We're all optimistic about the Nuggets. I do envision a scenario where the Nuggets have not had a lot of blowout wins in the Jokic era. Like, there's a lot of, like, frustrating, why was that game so close? They won anyway, but why was it so close?
It's a lot of, we're up 20. This should be a blowout win. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
the starters come save us again.
And I think this year maybe you get a little bit less of that. And you get a little bit more of, okay, Jokic checks back in with 7 minutes to go in the fourth, and the team's up 12. And he is reading that as, all right, my first 3 minutes on the court, I'm just going to pass and see if we can maintain this and see if I need to turn it on. And as such, the numbers could go down a little bit, but so could his fatigue level, where it's like, that. Yes, he played 30 minutes, but they were kind of a light 30 minutes because it was never too stressful.
Right. And also, is the goal of a top 5 defense something that could be detrimental to his freshness in the playoffs? I mean, ideally, it's a team effort, everyone's back, but it does require a lot, right, from a center to really, really be playing intensely and keep that up. So just something to keep an eye on.
Yoke, don't worry about defense.
No, he
Forget the plays.
he needs to worry about defense. Here's the thing, though. I also think with Jokic, fatigue is less about the attrition of 82 games, and it's more about what happens in the playoffs. Like, I think teams try to put him in the pick and roll a lot, and he has to carry a bigger burden. Both of those things, by the end of the year, I hope Denver has figured out ways to, one, save him a little bit on defense because they have better perimeter containment, and two, spread the offensive load around a little bit so he's less fatigued on the offensive end, and hopefully those things will keep him as fresh as anything. All right, let's make some bold predictions. It's hard. It's so hard to be bold about Nikola Jokic.
I know. We're like, I think I'll be the MVP.
Yeah, and then he does it. Yeah, it's really crazy. With that said, Eric, why don't you go ahead?
Oh, man, I wish I hadn't let in with that. I forgot my own bold prediction. I said he won't win MVP, even though he will deserve it. I think that
But you said better stats than last year.
He'll have better stats than last year. But, now that we've talked this out, I'm not even sure that's true. I just think that he's going to be dominant, but he probably won't have better stats. But he'll be more, or at least the team will be better, right?
Yeah.
And there will be a real case. This is already the chatter. I mean, like, this is not even a concept that I'm coming up with. Most people kind of agree with this notion that he will be good, but the voter fatigue alone will be the reason that he won't win MVP.
My least two favorite words in the English language.
Voter
fatigue.
Here's the thing, though, Wind. I think it would be hilarious if he checks all the boxes people said he didn't check last year, like number 1 seed, top 5 defense, like all of these things, and then they're like, crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the table. That's the scary part.
What's your bold prediction, Wind?
I think he's going to average a career high in assists. I think
kind of bold.
I think this.
We need to establish what bold means to
mean, let's see. He'll have the most offensive weapons. He'll have the most assists. Yeah, that seems linear.
Yeah, but like having a career high stat should be bold of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, this starting 5 complements each other better than any starting 5 of the Jokic era.
He didn't even have the starting 5 available to him last night, and he had 7 assists in like 13 minutes.
Right. Hey, man, let's get Bruce Brown with that starting unit a little more, you know?
What if Jokic averages like 30 assists a game?
I know.
Scott Skiles, watch out.
Vogt, give me your bold take. Be bolder than these guys.
I wrote this one before I watched that preseason game.
Okay.
I think Jokic is going to have a career high in points per game. This is the Miroslav golden rule.
This is such a good golden rule.
It's just every year, there's 100 reasons why he won't be Jokic. Nope, Jokic's just going to score more points again. He's going to have a career high in points per game.
I want to hear Miroslav. We're going to have to tune into Serbian Core. I want to hear what Miroslav's predictions are for his points per game total. Mine is a little esoteric. You guys would never guess.
There's nothing more bold than an esoteric point.
I think Jokic is going to have a dip in his offensive production. But you know what I think? He's going to take a huge step up in his defensive production this year, and it'll manifest itself in many ways, but most notably, I think he's going to be top 10 in steals per game and rebounds per game. And this is what's going to be great. If you get Denver to be a top, let's say 7 defense, doable, right? Top 7 defense. And then you have one guy on your team that's top 10 in 2 defensive stats, like counting stats. It's going to be hilarious. And I'm here for it. By the way, he's already super close. I think he was 11th in steals.
Yep.
And I think he was second in rebounds.
Top
and
10 in deflections last year.
And like 15th or 19th or something in steals. So he's right there. I think this is the year maybe we see a little more energy on the defensive effort. He's like 70% energy offense, 30% on defense, which is different than years past.
He was 12 last year.
12 on steals.
He's right there.
Yeah, so there he is. He's going to take another step up.
He's unbelievable.
What was esoteric about that? I have to know. I mean, esoteric means that it's hard to be understood by most. You just explained it in pretty simple terms. Anyway, off we go.
Judge. We got to go to court, boys.
Are
we going to court? Oh, my God. Let's go to court.
I ignored the summons.
Let's go to court. I ignored the summons. This guy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I forgot my gavel. You know
God
what?
damn it,
to hell with it. Bang, 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 bang.
Got to get his gavel here for a second.
Gavel.
All silence. All silence for your honorable Judge D-Line.
Bang, bang, bang.
The court is yours, Your Honor.
Gentlemen, we're back here in the court of general Nuggets ideas and opinions. And we're arguing today.
Right here. I wish you guys could see behind the scenes on show prep.
It's there. It exists.
Anyway, we're here to decide and argue the point. Will Nikola Jokic win?
Nope, that's not it.
A third? Well, I said, will he win a third MVP?
That's not it.
But would a third straight MVP bet be bad? That's the same goddamn point, worded differently. Win. Why don't you take the side of that he will, or it is a good bet to say that he would win the third MVP and vote the
Not a
other
good
side,
bet.
please.
I'm saying, would it be good for him
Would
to
it be
win?
good for
Would it be
Jokic?
good
Do we
for
want to start
Jokic?
this?
Wait, what is the question? Would it be a good bet or good for him?
So we got to run this one back.
We gotta run
He
it
yelled
back.
at me the entire time. No, leave it in there. Leave it in for shame of the
It
judge.
actually says, would it be bad?
Would it be bad? You're going to say, win. No, it's not. It's good.
It's good
It's
if he.
good for him to win a third MVP.
Yeah.
All right, well, chalk this one up for win. Here we go.
Wow, you really, Vogt really got the public defender that has the guy on clear video committing the crime. Anyway, off you go, Win. Would it be bad for Nikola Jokic to win a third MVP?
Well, I thought it was. Is it good?
Oh, my God.
Just make an argument, would you please?
Okay, here's why it would be good for Nikola Jokic to win a third MVP. If Nikola Jokic actually wins a third MVP, he would become only the fourth player ever to win 3 MVPs.
That sounds like bad
joining
news to
Bill
me.
Russell, joining Wilt Chamberlain, and joining Larry Bird.
Man.
If he is lucky enough to join that exclusive company, he will be putting up some ridiculous stats this season, better than he probably put up last year, and the Nuggets will be the number 1 seed. They will have a ridiculous regular season. That means the Nuggets could win a championship, which is a great thing for Nikola Jokic. So if he's good enough to win an MVP, yes, it's great for him. It's because what's great for him is great for the Nuggets.
Unless, Your Honor, those Denver
go.
Nuggets fail to win that title that they dang well should win with Jokic playing at that level. And he becomes part of that group, as Wynn mentioned, but the odd man out. He's more of a Steve Nash MVP type. The Steve Nash of the back-to-back-to-back MVPs. The one who's, all right, he had a great stretch. Did he win anything? Did he win anything? And he spends the rest of his career being ridiculed as, fine, MVP. What has he done in the playoffs? And suddenly what we have context for, right, losing to Phoenix, losing to Golden State, which makes perfect sense to us, is a stain on his resume and thrown in his face at every turn for the rest of his glorious career. It could very quickly become, Your Honor, not a badge of honor and pride, but a stain and a blemish on his resume.
Oh, man.
Wow. That last line was a
you
little
think
hard. A little hard, I think.
Does anyone here think that I'm going to side with Brendan Vogt?
No.
I am! Brendan Vogt! Let's go!
Oh, no.
You guys learned nothing in Serbia, did you?
No, we didn't.
Why is it that the Serbians love Aaron Gordon? Do we remember? Do we remember?
Because he has a house that
Yeah,
you
that's
play
why.
paintball
That's part of
at?
it. Yeah, that's part of it. It's because he was snubbed. Serbs love a guy that
they
was
love a
snubbed.
snub.
They love a snub. You know, they feel that they have been snubbed so many times
Yes.
before. So Jokic to deserve the MVP, but everyone to say, yeah, but let's just be nice. Let's just give it to Embiid. You know, Jokic already has 2.
God.
To me, it would be the ultimate. Hey, no, we earned it. You didn't give it to us. And not boiling at the core leads you right to a title. I laid it up. It was an easy one. That was a layup.
First of all, I'm not even sure which side of the argument you were on.
I'm saying that's why it would be good.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It would be good for him to be snubbed, to deserve it. He doesn't get it, and he goes into Hakeem Olajuwon.
I was supposed to
1995
argue
mode.
that it would be bad, buddy, and guess what? It wouldn't. So that's why I lost.
All right,
Go to Jared.
let's go to Dev for some relationship
Thank
advice.
God. Speak to me, Dev.
Oh, you're still here? Well, let me tell you about Jokic. Some say that love is overrated. But not Jokic's not overrated. He's the best. You know, Jokic is one of those relationships that you could bring home to mom. He's the one that's gonna last. He's that love that you don't mind going across the country for. I did it. That's the MVP. He's the best in the world. You do anything to make it last. Yoke, we will do anything for you. He's top human.
Wow, Dev, I'm feeling turned on.
What did he-
I got some good advice about my relationship.
I kind of blacked out.
Yeah.
I blacked out. Guys, the preview series is adjourned. That does it. Guess what we get to now? The on-season, baby.
Yes.
The on-season is here. Denver Nuggets 22-23 season begins now. Thanks for following along on these
Step up
previews.
time.
We're going to see you guys in a lot of Winners
Step
Lounge.
up.
We'll see you then.